Hey guys, Angela here. Today I'm going to be talking about True Grit. This was part of my library system's Big Read, which means they basically hand out a lot of free books. This one was free from the library, then I get to keep it. And then they have events centered around that book. I did not actually get to go to any of them, and actually this was the Big Read quite a while ago. Like months, maybe a year, maybe 2 years ago. It was quite a while, but it's been on my bookshelf and I finally read it. You probably have heard of the story from the John Wayne movie or the Coen brothers remake. I saw like part of the John Wayne movie when I was really little because my grandpa liked John Wayne and was always watching, and I like vaguely remembered that it was a western and things happened and that somebody died. Like, that's really all I remembered about it. And of course I saw the trailers for the Coen brothers version that came out in 2010. So it was interesting going into this, not knowing much about it. It's not my usual genre, but I wanted a book to read last night and it was on the shelf. So I will say I did enjoy it, and I really enjoyed it while I was reading it. And normally, you know, you finish the book and you're like, yeah, and that enjoyment kind of lasts a little bit. But I finished it and I was like, what just happened? Like, it's not even that weird of a book. It's about a 14-year-old girl whose father is shot by, I mean, obviously he's an outlaw. He murdered someone. But, so he's shot and he runs away to Indian Territory, where he's kind of outside of the law because it's Indian Territory and not a state. Which Indian Territory is Oklahoma, where I live, so that was kind of fun to read about bandits populating my home turf. And so Maddie, the girl, decides she needs to find a US Marshal who has the jurisdiction to go get him and, like, avenge her father, basically. And so she does. And a Texan comes along, because obviously this guy has murdered other people, and the Texan is after him for murdering a different person. So it's kind of hard to describe the genre, like western, adventure. A lot of the reviews in this like called it a comedy and just thought it was hilarious. I didn't really find it that funny. I mean, there are parts that were like, you know, mildly funny. I don't know. Didn't find it hilarious, but I did enjoy it. The voice is really, really interesting because it's being told from the point of view of an older Maddie. She's like a spinster now. And, you know, kind of giving life advice, and she gives you scripture verses to back things up while she's talking about this like manhunt in Indian Territory. So her voice is really compelling and really makes the book. It's a short read. I read it in an evening and then a morning. As I said, I did enjoy it, but only while I was reading it. When I thought about it later, it was just kind of like, huh. But apparently people really love this book. There's an afterword by this lady who, like, her great-grandmother, her grandmother, her mother, and she all loved it so much that, like, when they loaned out their copy and the person didn't give it back, they checked out the library copy and pretended to lose it so that they could have their own copy. Nowadays, you could easily get a copy, you know, probably at most bookstores, definitely on the internet. I'll post an Amazon link below. My favorite thing about this book, honestly, was the fact that they visit my hometown. So I grew up in McAlester, Oklahoma, which started out as a store in Indian Territory, and it was along a railroad point. The store's founder was J.J. McAlester, and I've like literally listened to raps about J.J. McAlester at high school music productions. So it was really fun to have the main characters of this book going to the McAlester store and talking to J.J. McAlester, and it's just like, ah, I've been to that store too! So that was my favorite thing about the book. So True Grit, a classic, 2 films about it, Not my usual genre, but I did enjoy it.